Greetings, Leo and Leo rising. This is your Western forecast for March 2025. This is a powerful month of major endings and new beginnings. That is because we're having two eclipses and Venus and Mercury are retrograding, and the solar eclipse on March the 29th is in Aries. That's bringing in bold, powerful new beginnings. But there's a lot with the retrogrades. There's a lot of this having to reevaluate and make revising, re-editing. So there's powerful seeds are being planted for change. Now, an eclipse can take 30 days, 60 days to start to reveal what it was bringing into your life. This is a powerful solar eclipse of Aries, so it's a major new beginnings. This Aries is nine signs past Leo. So this major restructuring and focus of new beginnings is with ninth house matters. The ninth house can represent getting a higher degree, more professional training, education, or going from that's being the student, learning more information, or you are the teacher, and this could be about more marketing, publishing, teaching. Now, this sun, the first 3 weeks of every March, the sun's in Pisces. So wherever the sun is shining is where your attention is being most drawn to. Well, Pisces is 8 signs past Leo. So the first 3 weeks, there's this focus on the 8th house. The 8th house can have a lot to do with finances, joint ventures. But I look at the 8th house because it's the natural house of Scorpio, because Scorpio is the 8th sign of the zodiac, is major change, major endings, major reorganizations. So I would look at this 8th house as starting to really think about letting go, how to make a big change, to move more towards the 9th house of media, marketing, publishing, teaching. Now, before I break down how I came to those conclusions, and we still have to look to the full moon lunar eclipse. If you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right. So Venus, the planet of love and desire, is retrograding on March the 1st through April the 11th. Now, Venus retrogrades every year and a half. On March the 14th, Mercury is going to retrograde. But Mercury retrogrades like 3 or 4 times a year. Mercury retrograde, as most of you know, is you're changing your mind, you're rethinking things, you're revising. The Mercury will be in Aries and go on retrograde on the 14th. And Aries is the 9 signs past Leo. Venus, what you desire and relationships, will retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries on March the 1st in your 9th house. But they're retrograde from the 9th house. So you are revising, reevaluating, rethinking. These are these retrogrades with 9th house matters. You could be thinking about quitting school, or you could be thinking about going back to school. Or the 9th house is the whole publishing, marketing, and starting an online business, or starting to really amp up and do much more sophisticated internet marketing for your business. But with that solar eclipse on the 29th, as I said, it could take 30 days, 60 days to start really manifesting what it wants to bring into your life. These eclipses repeat the same cycle every 19 years, but also in Aries, this particular eclipse period is with Aries is bold new action, bold new beginnings. But it's putting a spotlight in your 9th house, where the Venus and the Mercury are retrograding. And this is having this powerful eclipse of trying to bring in new beginnings in the 9th is a call to adventure, travel, education, or even spiritual awakenings could take center stage. Because the 9th house is higher education, philosophy, religion, but it's also the teaching, the marketing, the traveling. So there's a major motivation for these 9th house energies. You might be inspired to explore new beliefs, or explore new countries, or pursue a major life experience that expands your horizon. Could be one example I'm thinking, if you discovered a whole new spiritual belief system and you went on a spiritual quest, you went to an ashram, let's say, or a spiritual retreat, that could be setting you down a whole new path. Now, when the Venus is retrograde in Aries, it's an optical illusion if you look through a telescope, but the Venus is now moving backwards. And so it's backing out of Aries, out of your 9th house, and going into the 8th house on March the 27th. And then it's still retrograde, but then releases and goes direct on April the 11th in your 8th house. The 8th house has a lot to do with change, major change. It also has a lot to do with a lot of financial considerations. Now, I think you got all these clues because it's certainly been into your attention with the sun in the 8th house of joint ventures and finance and major transformation. On a completely different level, the 8th house can represent psychology or the occult because it has a lot to do with profound transformation. So you might have been getting some of you might have got more interested in like in-depth spiritual studies or going into therapy, getting more interested in astrology, psychology, because that's what the 8th house represents. Outside of finance and business, it also represents a big personal inner change of life. Now, Mercury goes retrograde on March the 14th till April the 7th, and it's retrograding out of the 9th into the 8th on March the 29th. It's like within 2 days, both Venus and Mercury will retrograde out of the 9th of traveling, adventure, higher education, and go into the 8th. Now, the 8th, if we talk about business, could be financial contracts, negotiating financial business opportunities, but you wouldn't want to make any important decisions while of the retrogrades, and the Venus is retrograde up until the 11th of April. It could also be with the 8th house, It's endings and new beginnings many times. So you might come to the realization in the last couple of days of March, going into the first part of April, that you're really starting to think about letting go of what you've been doing. That could be the 8th house. And then quitting, let's say, your job to, it would be more of a job than a relationship because of the 9th house is more academic. And then you could be quitting what you've been doing to then pursue this whole new journey with either an online career of, maybe being a life coach, doing marketing, or just getting so much, or going back to school and getting that degree. Now, so all of that retrogrades in the 9th house is you are reevaluating it. You are doing your due diligence. You're second guessing it. But it's all really important clues because on March the 29th is that new moon solar eclipse about every 19 years in your 9th house, where the retrogrades are in the 9th house. So the solar eclipse is trying to bring in a bold new undertaking of 9th house matters, which I've already listed. But we might get some more clues with the full moon lunar eclipse, because the lunar eclipse is a full moon on steroids. It will really reveal things that have been hidden or even hidden to yourself. It will often test relationships, but this full moon lunar eclipse, because it's a lunar eclipse, instead of it just impacting you for a couple of days, if it hits a planet in your chart, it can last a couple of weeks. It could even, if it's a direct impact on a planet in your chart, it could last a month. This full moon lunar eclipse could really be this letting go, breakthrough energies. It's in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is the second sign past Leo. The second sector in astrology represents money, your personal income. So, and then with the Venus and Mercury retrograding into the 8th house, the 8th house is that house of finance and joint ventures and loans and business partnerships. And there's that full moon lunar eclipse in the middle of the month, but could be impacting you for the last half of the month in the second house of your personal income. So I think for most of you, this is about rethinking how you make money and then starting to, because you want to go more into the direction of the 9th house of either getting a higher degree so you can have more job security, or doing more publishing, marketing. That's all that 9th house. But with it retrograding back in the 8th house, it could be doing all these financial negotiations. Now, with the 9th house, one example could be publishing. You could be negotiating by the middle of April a publishing deal or on a kind of marketing deal. Well, the 9th house can also represent media. So there could be all these financial negotiations or looking for investors or backers for your media project of the 9th house that the solar eclipse is trying to bring in. So I think this is more business and financial, and for a lot of you is the media, the marketing, the publishing. And now, as I think I've said this, with the solar eclipse, it's going to take at least a month to 2 months to start seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. But there's some very powerful seeds. So if you're identifying with anything I've been saying, if if it's, if you've been thinking about these same areas, but you're not really confident or ready to commit, well, you wouldn't anyhow because of the retrogrades. And the solar eclipse does want to take you down a powerful new path, but it's going to take at least 30 to 60 days to start fully manifesting. But I think this is a month of a turning point, of like being at a crossroads, to be able to to make more money through higher education or through media, publishing, marketing. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading, please visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.